Hi guys, it's your girl Gypsy, booked and bound to have you reading. Thank you for joining me for another video. I hope you enjoyed the last video I posted. It was a review about Eternally Yours. It is an anthology. Congratulations to the editor Patrice Caldwell and all the other authors that are part of that work. Absolutely amazing. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check out that review. Like, it's still there. It ain't going nowhere. It's the internet. It's never gonna leave, so you might as well go ahead and go watch it. But thank you so much for joining me for another video. So I was in DC a couple weeks ago and I happened to visit Kramer's, which is, a wonderful bookstore based in DC. And I picked up a novel, a romance novel by a very notable romance writer. And I absolutely love her writing because I like that, y'all know, I don't do those cheesy romance stories. I'm sorry. I don't ever think I'll ever be in the mood for a cheesy romance novel. Only because I understand to some extent we're not trying to have realistic stuff because it's fiction, But I still want some semblance of, some realism to the story because life ain't no fairy tale, especially 2022. In this economy, it's not, no, it's definitely not giving fairy tale. So I'm not pessimistic or anything to that nature. I'm just being realistic and, looking at all sides. And I'm like, okay, I enjoy the story, but come on, let's be for real. So yeah. But the novel that I'm going to talk about today is By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. And a meant to be novel. Shout out to one of my best friends. She knows exactly who she is. She is a Jasmine Guillory fan, and she actually is the reason she is the one who put me on to her. So I appreciate that. So let's just get right into it. So it's set in New York, and that was already a red flag for me. I'm sorry if you're from New York. I just don't know how you love living there. Anytime I visit there, I get so much anxiety. I become the most angry, the Florida driver in me, the road rage internally, because I don't be going out the car and, because people have guns, bro. I don't have time for that. It just comes out. I don't do well. I do not do well with driving New York. But yes, it's based in New York. We follow Isabella Marlowe, also known as Izzy. She is mid-20s, I believe, mid-20s. I'm pretty sure she's at mid-20s, basically. So let's just say 25, essentially. And she's starting at this publishing company that, she's been really excited about. She thought she was going to have another opportunity with a different publishing company, but it didn't work out, unfortunately. So she's at A Tale as Old as Time. And, of course, because Jasmine Guillory, there's little hints, thrown out. So remember the title of that publishing company. So she is an editorial assistant to one of the, main editors at the company. Her name is Marta. Now, you're hoping it's her first day. Of course, it's starting all nice. People are greeting her. Good morning. Welcome. We're so glad to have you here. La, 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 la. And then Marta comes in and barely gives her the time of day. Literally barely gives her the time of day. And obviously, in any situation when you a new surroundings, of course you are hoping that atmosphere is very comfortable, it's very inviting, and it stays that way. It's not just the first 3 months. No, this is a continuous thing. Marta, no, she's like, oh, you're hired, great, do your job. That's essentially her type of spirit and everything. And I actually have had a boss like that. The person who used to be her editorial assistant, his name is Gavin, and he is now the assistant editor for the company and everything. So she's really excited because she gets to read all these books that, from different writers. And it's really cool, it's to read just different stories from different people, just different minds and all this collaboration. It's so great. And then we get the 2 years later and she realizes this is training. She had a few, interactions. There's some interactions with Gavin specifically. Gavin, let me tell you, you're going to always deal with a Gavin in your work life or in life in general. And I don't want to, spoil his personality traits and everything like that. I'll let you deal with that. But what we're mostly going to get into is Izzy and her development. So she, you know, along with working in the publishing company, she has her own personal aspirations, of becoming a writer. And so she's been working on this novel and this manuscript, and you know, she showed it to a particular person in the company. I won't name who. You probably, you know, guess who it is. And they did not give the most admirable response or anything. And, you know, made her feel like, you know, she is not capable of attaining this dream she has. But not only that, it's just, you know, the way it came off was very demeaning, very condescending, and we don't like that. So Izzy's working with this particular writer who happens to be a celebrity. And he's dealt with a lot. He's, you know, coming out with a memoir, except like probably all authors is not submitting their manuscript on time. But there's a difference between on time and then like not answering emails. Like, it's one thing if, like, you know, you're an author, you're a writer or whatever, and, you know, you're just not there yet. You're just gonna have all the ideas. They're just not flowing the way they need to be flowing, you know? And so, like, you let your people know, like, it was coming, it's just not coming on the day you want it, you know? No, it's just crickets. It's just straight silence. You know, she's not getting anything from him. And so she sends, like, these funny emails. Actually, they're really funny. You get, like, snippets in there of, like, what she's sending to him and everything. So fast forward, they go to this conference on the West Coast, and she is there with, you know, her boss, Marta, and there's also her friend Priya, who is an editorial assistant for another editor. And so she has, like, one person that she can actually confide in, which is good, because I feel like it's even more overwhelming when you're in a work environment that you don't feel, you know, comfortable in. You don't feel like you're wanted, that you're part of the team and everything. And then you have nobody else on your side, or not even just necessarily on your side, but at least you can, like, you know, kind of be buddy with and everything, like, because I feel that way myself. Anyways, that's not the point. So she's at this conference and everything, and it's getting to a point where Marta's like, listen, I don't know if we're going to, you know, continue this deal with him. Like, he's not answering nobody's emails. Sis not answering our emails. Like, we don't know what's going on. Like, what's good and everything. So she's like, what is one way that I can prove, even though she doesn't need to prove anything, to her boss that she, you know, has earned her keep, that she deserves this, and, you know, maybe deserves elevation as well. She literally is like, oh yeah, I'll just go, you know, to him and, like, grab that manuscript out of him. Huh? What? Now, if this was me in this situation, I probably would have done the same thing. I'm not even going to front with you, because I get where she was coming from. Like, especially when you literally don't know what your plan B is, if you even have a plan B. She's also living with her parents voluntarily, for the record. Not that was probably her first choice. Actually, maybe it might have been. But either way, she's living with her parents. So I'm pretty sure that's not trying to be her end all be all, you know? I understand why she was doing that, because especially when you're in that situation where you feel like I said, you have to prove to, like, your superior, or just prove to somebody, like, you know, I'm capable of this. Like, I'm capable, and it doesn't seem like situations, events that have transpired are showing your true character, your true worth ethic in the most, you know, positive light. You try to create situations that will show that, because you're just like, okay, I have people who may not look like me that are getting opportunities that, you know, I feel like that should be definitely given to me, or at least, like, I just want recognition. You know, the funny thing about looking back at your videos and then editing is realizing that you're really just talking about yourself. And I just want to take this moment to let you guys know that sometimes books really do be helping you, and therapeutic as well, because this is exactly, well, not exactly, but it's extremely similar to what I'm dealing with right now at work. Okay, back to regular scheduled programming. She goes, she sees him, she visits him where she lives, and he is definitely the definition of a prick. That's, like, the nicest thing I could say. Of course, we may warm up to his personality towards the end. It takes time. And you know what I really like about this romance book is, of course, when you think about a romance story, of course, you get, like, the two main characters, there's an issue with one, like she's from New York City, she goes to a farm in Oregon, and then all of a sudden she's falling in love, and now she's having 9 babies with this random man living on a farm. No. So it's very much, it's not like cookie cutter. It feels as if this is like actual life events, and this is something that is like slowly manifesting. Nothing was rushed. I really appreciated that this storyline was not rushed, because there's flaws in both characters. There's flaws in Izzy, and there's flaws in, you know, her romantic interest. Or person towards romantic interest. And what I do like about, there was boundaries created as well. So I feel like in some romance stories, is because, like, say for example, it's like a lawyer, it's like a lawyer, and she falls in love, or she falls in love with their client, and then like we just negate the whole HR situation in like, you know, in the gist of everything. But with this, there's boundaries created. Like, as she, you know, she was obviously, from her personality, she's like, I don't like him, like he's not attractive. From the way Jasmine Guillory was describing his character, he very much was giving attraction. The intimacy portion of it, it wasn't, you know, that wasn't rushed either. Like, I just love how the boundaries were created. You know, there are some, like, you know, kissy scenes or anything, but nothing actually to the point of like like a Dexter Dap song, you know? If you know Dexter, you know what I'm talking about. So I really, really appreciate that about this book. And I think one thing that really, you know, I just really connected with Izzy, is honestly the career portion. It wasn't even about like the romance part, and you know how she kind of had to like let go of like her scenarios that she created, because I do the exact same thing. I be creating scenarios like, oh, he's probably not going to text me, or he's probably not going to do this. Like, he probably, like, you're already just saying he's already going to do something, but he never did it. So why are you already assuming he's going to do it? And it's one thing to be projecting, obviously, from like past situations, but nah, she was literally just creating stuff like none of it happened. So, but I did the same thing. So that's why I was like, oh, baby girl, let's not do that. Like, let's let life, you know? But that career stuff definitely hit home for me. Like, definitely feeling like you have to always prove things to people. And it's, you know, it gets very disheartening. It's very, you know, frustrating when, like I said, you're not receiving recognition. You feel like your personal dreams, your aspirations cannot be attained and everything. Like, it gets extremely, you know, you feel lost essentially, and you feel like, why am I doing this? And at first, her intentions with, you know, getting this book from this celebrity, from this guy, was just to like prove, but then it turned into, oh, like, I actually am now reigniting this passion I've always had for literature, for writing, and for connecting with people, because that's her main thing. She just likes connecting with people through literature, and just like I do too. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Like I said, you know, I wasn't going to spoil anything, because, you know, I never spoil. I never do that at all. So definitely pick this up. Buy the book by Jasmine Guillory, a meant to be novel. You can pick it up at your local bookstores. Y'all already know. You guys support your Black local bookstores. You already know. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.